My son asked why his birthday cake had no candles. My wife laughed. He should be grateful he even has one. His father can't even hold a job. She said it in front of everyone. I just smiled, took a picture, and left. That was 3 years ago. Today, her lawyer's been calling nonstop. I didn't even flinch when she said it. The camera flash caught my smile. Not fake, either. I made sure it looked real. Open-mouthed. Dimples showing. Like I was in on the joke. Because that's what they wanted, my in-laws, her gym friends, her sister with the 2 leased Range Rovers and the overdrawn checking account. They needed me to laugh along. To be part of the humiliation. And I gave it to them. I gave it to them so cleanly they didn't notice I left the party 5 minutes later. Didn't notice I never came back. My son's 4th birthday. No candles. Just a dry marble cake and one of those sarcastic joke cards about growing up too fast. She handed it to him herself. I watched him pretend to read it, brow furrowed like he knew the air had gone wrong. He looked up at me like he wanted to say something. I blinked once. That was the code we'd made. One blink meant everything's okay. I lied. I walked out before the singing. Got in my car. Sat with the engine off for maybe an hour. I don't remember most of the drive. Just that I kept seeing the picture in my rearview mirror, me smiling in front of the cake while my son looked like he wanted to disappear. 3 years ago. And now? Now her lawyer won't stop calling. Let me rewind. I used to have a job. A good one. Middle management at a logistics firm. Steady hours. Decent benefits. Nothing glamorous, but stable. Then came the cutbacks. Then the downsizing. Then the silence. I got laid off during the tail end of COVID. Company collapsed like a folding chair. They didn't even offer severance. Just a box for my desk crap and a locked benefits portal. I told her that night over dinner. She didn't look up from her phone. You'll find something, she said. Just don't mope around. It's not attractive. I'd been there 8 years. She'd never once asked what I actually did. 3 weeks later, she started posting those vague Instagram stories, sunsets, wine glasses, captions like, when people show you who they are, and manifesting peace sparkles. I applied to everything. Drove Uber at night. Managed a graveyard shift at a loading dock 2 towns over. Saved every spare dollar. Meanwhile, she upgraded to premium lashes. New phone. Pilates retreat in Arizona. She said she needed space to heal. I stopped fighting. Stopped talking even. That's what she really wanted. A ghost to blame. A backdrop to her victimhood. I became invisible so fast it felt rehearsed. Then came the party. She used our son's birthday as a weapon. A PR stunt for her rebrand. She invited everyone except my family. No candles, no gifts from my side. Just her audience, and a child who still called me Dada when he got scared in the middle of the night. And when she made the joke. That joke? He should be grateful he even has a cake. His father can't even hold a job. Everyone laughed. I smiled. Flash. And walked out. I rented a room in the back of a mechanic's shop. Paid cash. Slept next to shelves of brake fluid and rusted alternators. Worked doubles. Triples. Found gigs under fake names because she'd frozen our joint accounts and filed a restraining order the same week. She said I was erratic. That I'd abandoned my child. That I was a threat to family safety. She showed them the picture. That smile? Said it was proof I didn't care. Didn't show them what came after. Didn't show them the footage I'd uploaded to a cloud the moment I left. Didn't show them the audio I'd been recording for months. The one where she screamed at our son for spilling juice and told him he was just like your failure of a father. Didn't show them the bruises he'd asked me not to tell anyone about. So I waited. I worked. I learned. I grew quiet. I met a woman named Adira through one of my shifts. She ran the night cleaning crew at an industrial bakery. She didn't flinch when I told her the truth. She listened. She also used to be a legal secretary. She helped me understand custody law. Helped me parse through hours of recorded abuse. Helped me create a trail. Not revenge. Not yet. Just documentation. Then came the notice. She was filing for sole custody. Citing abandonment. Emotional instability. Financial neglect. She didn't know I had receipts. Didn't know I'd been working with a small but aggressive law firm, one that Adira's cousin managed out of a strip mall. Didn't know I'd used the year in silence to build a case. When I served her the counterclaim, she texted me for the first time in 16 months. Is this a joke? I didn't reply. She posted a selfie with her son the next day. Caption, some people don't deserve to be parents. But I'm doing it all for him. 3 days later, I filed for emergency custody. For days after that, Child Protective Services knocked on her door. And now? Now her lawyer's been calling nonstop. Because she knows what I know. Knows what I have. And knows the judge won't be laughing. Not when I play that tape of our son crying in the closet while she screams about how men are useless. Not when I show the financials. The Venmo receipts. The OnlyFans withdrawals. The screenshots of her boyfriend, yes, boyfriend bragging in texts about how she gets paid to lie in court. But I'm not doing this for revenge. Not anymore. I'm doing it because last week my son asked me why the candles mattered. Is it because they help you make a wish? I told him yes. He said, I wished for you to come back. And I did. I just came back differently. More soon. Update 1. The first time my son asked why his mother screamed in her sleep, I told him she was dreaming about dinosaurs. It was the only lie I couldn't bring myself to regret. The truth? She screams because I stopped being useful. Court was today. Family court isn't built for truth, it's built for optics. Everyone plays a part. You wear a suit, you speak homily, and you pray the judge can smell lies through perfume and crocodile tears. She wore white. She brought her boyfriend. Not as a witness, just for the optics. Sat right behind her, arms crossed, sunglasses indoors. Looked like a failed club promoter. The judge wasn't impressed. Neither was the custody evaluator. Especially after she heard the audio. I didn't play the worst ones. Not yet. Just the one where my son says, in this tiny broken voice, please don't lock me in again. I'll be good. I promise. The courtroom went dead silent. Her lawyer tried to argue context. Said kids make things up. Said I was weaponizing moments. I stayed quiet. The judge asked to hear the full context. So I played 2 more clips. One where she tells our son, stop crying or I'll take your toys and throw them away. Another where she's on the phone, laughing, telling someone, he can cry all he wants. Court's just a game. I know how to win. She never looked at me during any of it. Her boyfriend did. He leaned forward, whispered something to her. She shook her head. He got up and left before the hearing ended. She didn't follow him. The judge ordered an emergency hearing in 48 hours. Until then, shared custody is suspended. My son's with me. Tonight, he fell asleep holding one of my old t-shirts like a teddy bear. He still talks in his sleep. Still flinches if I close a door too hard. I didn't cry when I heard the recordings. I cried when he called me dad again. Not dada. Not hey. Not can I ask you something? Just, Dad, can we have candles next time? He asked it like a question he wasn't sure he was allowed to ask. I nodded. I didn't say anything because if I opened my mouth I'd scream. Tomorrow we're making a cake together. He wants chocolate. With candles. 7 of them. 1 for each time he waited by the window for me to come home. 1 for each birthday I missed. 1 for every time I stayed silent and waited. And 1 for her. She'll see it. She'll feel it. But she won't get to blow it out. Not this time. Update 2. She showed up at his school. Unannounced. Middle of the day. Claimed she just wanted to see him smile. He didn't smile. He didn't run into her arms. He froze. His teacher called me right away, said the kid who normally whispers answers and hides behind his sleeves suddenly looked like a statue. Wouldn't speak. Wouldn't blink. She scared him, the teacher said. Not like a stranger. Like someone who used to be safe and isn't anymore. I picked him up within the hour. He asked if I was going to get in trouble. I told him no. But that was a lie too. Because I was already in trouble, just not the kind you get fined for. The kind that crawls into your bloodstream and builds a nest. CPS is reevaluating. Her unsupervised visitation is now suspended pending the judge's review. The school flagged the incident. Her lawyer tried to downplay it, called it a mother's desperation. He's right. It was desperation. But not the kind that wants her child back. The kind that needs a prop for court. He was too still. That's what gutted me. My son has this habit. He rocks on his heels when he's nervous. Always has. But when she showed up, nothing. Still as a statue. After we got home, I asked him if he wanted to draw something. He used to love drawing. Made stick figure dinosaurs with too many teeth. Cats with sunglasses, trees with arms. He said yes. He drew a door. Just a door. A brown rectangle with a little gold circle in the middle. Is that our front door? I asked. He shook his head. It's the closet, he said. Then he drew another version. Same door. But this time he'd added red squiggly lines coming out of the keyhole. I didn't ask what they were. I already knew. She used to lock him in there when he cried. Put a white noise machine outside so the neighbors wouldn't hear. I found it in the donation bin last week. I plugged it in. The sound made my hands shake. Like being lost in noise. The worst part? She labeled it calm time in her calendar. Little emoji next to it. A cloud with a smile. It was scheduled. Regular. Planned like a workout. My lawyer says the evidence is overwhelming. My son says, do I have to go back? Every night I tell him no. Every night, I feel less sure that's a promise I can keep. I'm not a hero. I'm not noble. I'm a man who took pictures of a birthday cake with no candles and said nothing. I'm the one who let it get this far. She sent an email yesterday. Subject, you're ruining everything. No greeting. No sign off. Just, you don't get to paint me like a monster. You have always been jealous that he needs me more. She means our son. She thinks love is dependence. That trauma is attachment. She doesn't understand that every time he flinches, I flinch too. And now Now I'm starting to understand something I wish I didn't. She didn't want a child. She wanted an echo, a soft voice that said yes, a reflection of herself with smaller hands. The first time he told her no, she stopped seeing him as hers. The first time he asked for me instead, she decided to erase me. And now she's unraveling. Her lawyer called mine, said she's been uncooperative, missed meetings, lashed out at staff. She showed up to her own deposition with sunglasses on and refused to take them off. Claimed the lights gave her migraines. The judge didn't buy it. Neither did the clerk who overheard her in the hallway bragging about how easy men are to manipulate if you fake a tear. But here's the part one haven't said yet. The part that keeps me up at night. There was one more recording. I didn't include it in the initial evidence because I didn't think it would be admissible. But it haunts me. She didn't know I'd started recording early that day. It was from the hallway outside our bedroom, back when we still lived together. She was alone, talking to someone on the phone. She said, "If I ever lose him in court, I'll make sure he never forgets me. I don't care if I go to jail. He'll learn who really matters." That's what she said. Not about me, about our son. I play that clip sometimes. Not out of vengeance. To remind myself what I'm fighting for. Because custody isn't just about legal rights. It's about walls. Keeping monsters out. Tonight, my son asked if we could sleep in the living room. Said he likes the sound of the fish tank. Makes him feel like we're in a bubble. He called it the safe room. I said yes. I tucked him in on the couch, right next to me. His drawing, the door is on the fridge now. A reminder. Some doors only open in one direction. And some get sealed shut. Update 3. I took him to a hardware store this morning. Not for anything urgent. Just an excuse to get out of the apartment. He likes pushing the little kid cart. Thinks it makes him look like a builder guy. That's what he calls me sometimes. Dad the builder guy. He picked out a tiny toolbox, red and plastic, with a fake drill and 3 zip ties inside. "Just like yours," he said. I nodded. Didn't tell him that the real zip ties in my drawer aren't for fixing things anymore. Court was yesterday. Final hearing. She was 18 minutes late. Showed up wearing black. Called it funeral energy on Instagram. She didn't speak to me. Didn't look at our son. Sat with her lawyer and chewed her lip until it bled. She didn't bring the boyfriend this time. Probably because the judge had already issued a protection order. Turns out there was more on his record than she disclosed. 2 sealed cases. One involving a minor. One still pending. I have no proof she knew. But my gut does. The hearing took 3 hours. She cried twice. Both times when the judge mentioned financial consequences, not once when the custody evaluator read out the psychological impact report. Not once when she heard the phrase, developmental regression consistent with complex trauma. Our son's drawings were submitted as evidence. The door. The one with the red squiggles. The evaluator asked him what they meant. He said, "That's where the yelling lives." Not who. Where. Like it's still in there. Like it never left. Like maybe some part of her voice is still living behind that door, chewing holes in the dark. I didn't speak much at the hearing. Didn't need to. My lawyer laid it all out: audio, documentation, testimony. And then quietly we submitted the last exhibit. The hallway recording. She stood up before it even played. Started yelling about context and invasion of privacy. The judge told her to sit down or be held in contempt. She sat. The clip played. Her voice clear. "If I ever lose him in court, I swear to God I'll make sure the kid never feels safe again." The room went silent. Then she laughed. Not a full laugh. Not even a smirk. Just the small, sharp exhale. Like a cough. Like something slipping out of her by accident. That was the moment the judge ruled. Full custody awarded to me. Supervised visitation only. 2 hours a month. No overnights. No unsupervised phone calls. All monitored through a state facility. Minimum review in 12 months. She stormed out before it was even over. No goodbye. No apology. Not even a glance at our son. When we got home, he looked around the apartment like he didn't recognize it. Then he said, "Is she really gone?" I told him yes. He didn't smile. Just nodded once like a soldier being dismissed. Then he walked to the fridge. Took the drawing down. Tore it in half. Then in quarters. Then into tiny, slow shreds. Didn't say a word. Just stood there, dismantling that door like it owed him something. I didn't stop him. Later, after he fell asleep, I took the toolbox, the little red one, and slipped something inside. One of the real zip ties. Just one. Just to remind myself. I don't know what I'm becoming. I used to think I was surviving. Now I wonder if I'm calculating. I watch the hallway cameras twice a night. I sleep with one eye open. She hasn't tried anything yet. But she will. People like her don't lose quietly. And if she shows up again at the school, the grocery store, the sidewalk across from our building, I'll be ready. Not with violence. Not even with court orders. I've started something she can't see. A file. Not digital. Paper. Handwritten. Old school. Every threat. Every slip. Every moment she forgets who's watching. Because this isn't over. Custody isn't the end. It's just the change in terrain. And if she ever tries to open that door again, the one she built inside him, she won't find a child on the other side. She'll find me. Final update. I found the sock behind the dresser. His favorite one. The one with the little astronauts on it. He used to wear it inside out because the thread felt like spiders. I stared at it for 10 minutes. Not because I missed him. Because it was the last thing she didn't ruin. He doesn't live here anymore. Not permanently. Not with me. I got a call last month. From the school counselor. He hadn't spoken in 3 days. Wouldn't eat. Wouldn't draw. When she asked him what was wrong, he pointed at a window. Said, sometimes I see her. They checked security footage. Nothing. Checked with the visitation center. She hadn't missed an appointment. Didn't matter. He saw her. Or thought he did. And that was enough. The therapist said we needed a reset. Recommended residential therapy. Somewhere rural. Isolated. With no doors that lock from the outside. He went without crying. Packed his own bag. Told me, I'll write you letters. He hasn't. But I get updates. He doesn't flinch anymore. Doesn't whisper either. He just watches. The staff says he's processing. I know what that means. It means they see the same thing I do. He's not scared anymore. He's waiting. I don't visit much. Just send books. Art supplies. One drawing came in the mail 2 weeks ago. No note. Just a picture. Not of a door. Of a mirror. And in the mirror? A woman, faceless, screaming. And something behind her. Not a person. Not a shadow. Just a shape. I framed it. Put it in the hallway. Across from the coat rack where she used to hang her gym bag. A reminder. Some reflections can't be escaped. Only inherited. She tried to contact me last week. Not directly. Through a lawyer. Wanted to negotiate terms. Said she was in therapy now. That she'd done the work. That she was healing. Her file says otherwise. 2 arrests. One for public intoxication outside a playground. Another for violating a restraining order. She blamed both on emotional provocation. Said she thought she saw me. I didn't respond. I don't speak to ghosts. Only collect them. There's a storage unit on the edge of town. Under a fake name. Inside, boxes. One for every month she tried to destroy him. Screenshots. Receipts. Transcripts. One box is different. Lined with velvet. Locked. Inside? The recording. The original one. The first time he said, please don't make me go in there. Not the closet. The courtroom. He said it to a bailiff. Quietly. Like a prayer. And still they made him testify. I keep the audio. Not because I need it. Because she doesn't know I have it. That's my leverage now. Not for court. Not for the press. Just for me. In case she ever tries to come back. In case the shadows behind the mirror start whispering her name. And when my son is older. Old enough to understand silence. I'll play it for him. Not to hurt. To prepare. Because monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they wear yoga pants and hashtag their trauma. Sometimes they make birthday cakes with no candles. And sometimes they pretend to care. So this is the end. There won't be another update. The war is over. The battlefield is quiet. But some scars don't fade. Some doors never open again. And some boys? Some boys grow up and build houses with no closets. Only mirrors. And one light. Always on. Just in case. Edit, for everyone asking what I'll do when she shows up again. Simple. I won't yell. I won't run. I'll walk her to the mirror. And let her see what she made.